Hi, I'm George Rinaldi, and this is the tropical weather update for 1:15 a.m. on August 26, 2010. And we have two storms in the North Atlantic right now. Yeehaw! First of all, we have Hurricane Danielle, which is a Category 2 hurricane in the Central Atlantic. Danielle will be encountering a trough of low pressure, which is already starting to turn a little bit toward the northwest. It should continue turning toward the northwest and then to the north, passing east of Bermuda over the weekend. Hopefully it stays east of Bermuda, where Bermuda won't feel the full brunt of the storm. However, I do expect hurricane watches to be posted for the island nation either later today or Friday, and hurricane warnings likely if the storm gets closer to Bermuda than what I think it'll be. Right now, I think it'll pass maybe 100 miles to the east of Bermuda, which would keep the hurricane force winds off the island. But if it passes any closer to that or to the west of Bermuda, they will feel a lot more of the effects of the storm, including an extended period of hurricane-force winds and torrential rains. I expect Danielle, after visiting Bermuda, to track north to north-northeast and possibly impact the maritime provinces of Canada early next week. So you folks up around Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and even Prince Edward Island, you need to watch the progress of Danielle, since Danielle could affect that area as a significant extratropical storm later on early next week. Now let's turn our attention to Earl. Earl was named not even 24 hours ago. It's out in the eastern Atlantic near the Cape Verde Islands right now. Earl came off the coast of Africa, where the disturbance that spawned Earl, I should say, quite a bit farther south than the disturbance that spawned Danielle did. Therefore, I expect it to take a more southerly track, and the models are actually showing us it passing late in the weekend just north of the Leeward Islands, moving west-northwest. And if the models are correct, that type of track can actually spell trouble for the southeastern U.S., and we really need to keep an eye on this as the week wears on into the weekend, because some of the models earlier were hinting at ridging building over the northeastern United States, and what that would do is actually prevent recurvature or close up that trough of low pressure that's pulling Danielle up right now toward Bermuda. And if that happens, instead of turning north to northeast, it'll move west-northwest to northwest, and it could possibly impact the United States, I would guess, Labor Day weekend, if there is indeed any impact at all. The recurvature with Earl is not written in stone. A lot of people are saying right now it's going to be a fish, it's going to be a fish. And for those of you that aren't familiar with storm tracker nomenclature, a fish is a storm that doesn't affect land. And right now, it's just not written in stone that Earl's just going to recurve harmlessly out to sea. There is some chance that Earl could affect the southeastern United States in about 10 days. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Also, over the Gulf of Mexico, there is a very broad, diffuse, disorganized disturbance over the central Gulf, but it covers a good part of the Gulf of Mexico. It may slowly organize over the next couple of days, but it really doesn't have a lot of room to maneuver around in. It can't really go too far without interacting with land. Any development of this system, I expect, will be slow to occur, but it could bring some significant rainfall to the western Gulf Coast, and especially around the Texas coastal areas, if development does occur and it indeed does start to track a little bit more toward the west-northwest. Last time I looked at the satellite picture, it wasn't really moving much at all. It was maybe drifting a little west or a little west-southwest. So that's something you folks along the Gulf Coast need to keep an eye on. And even if it doesn't develop into a tropical cyclone, or if it develops, let's say, into just a low-end tropical storm, I've said this before 1,000 times, and I'll say it again, do not focus on the wind speed or how strong it's supposed to be. The biggest killer from tropical cyclones is freshwater flooding. Not the storm surge, not the wind, freshwater flooding. Translated, that means flooding from rain. So y'all along the Gulf Coast need to be keeping an eye on this. And I apologize I haven't been on as much as I should be. Work's kind of been killing me a little bit lately. After 11, 12 hours at work, I don't really feel like doing much at all except going home and going to bed and maybe grabbing something to eat. But if any one of these systems threaten the United States, especially in another week where hopefully we'll know where Earl's going, then I'll be on a lot more frequently, and if I can't get on, I'll get one of my cohorts to give updates on my Facebook page. And this is George Rinaldi signing off for now, and have a great day.